Hey there everyone, and happy Halloween! I wish there was some kind of horror-themed mech video game or anime I could talk about today, but perhaps I'll find something by next year. If you know of anything that fits that very specific category, please feel free to share. Now on to today's episode. The 1990s. Back when Mecha ruled the video game industry, and 3D graphics were... okay, they were actually really terrible. Remember Metalhead? Ooh, that game is truly terrifying. But fear not, because I've already tortured myself enough with that game. But of course, not every mecha video game with 3D graphics turned out to be so bad. The MechWarrior franchise flourished on PC and home consoles, while in 1997 we saw the release of Armored Core, and we all know that went on to be an excellent series. But if there was any mecha video game I would have to place alongside those excellent titles, it would have to be Gun Griffin for the Sega Saturn. Released in 1996, Gun Griffin is a first-person mech simulator, but don't go thinking this is some kind of ripoff of MechWarrior. In fact, I think Gun Griffin plays substantially better than games like MechWarrior 2. As you can tell by the gameplay footage, you pilot a fearsome mech known as an Armored Walking Gun System, or AWGS, whatever you want to call it. But how does one control this machine? Well, the controls are a bit cumbersome, I won't lie. For starters, you think the D-pad would control your movement, right? But it's actually performed by the A button and the X button. Press them once and you'll activate forward or backwards motion, and double tapping these buttons will activate a boost. So, if that's the case, then what's the D-pad for? Well, you're going to use it to aim up and down. It's kind of reverse. I think Gun Griffin would have benefited greatly from a dual analog setup. But hey, it was 1996 and nobody was using dual analog yet. Pressing the C button will change your mech's weapon type. And you can see that your mech comes equipped with some anti-tank missiles, a machine gun, and a massive cannon with plenty of ammunition. As much as I'm complaining here, I will say the developers made an excellent choice by making the right trigger button the button that fires your weapons. The Z button is arguably the most useful, as this allows your mech to fly for a brief period of time, giving you just a few precious seconds to rain hell from above. And last but certainly not least is the Y button, or night vision. It's useful for night missions, obviously, but you'll actually have a few missions that require it. Now if you like what you see and you want to play this game for yourself, just be sure to take a few minutes to master the controls. The patience definitely pays off here. Now, like most mech video games, the story is largely irrelevant. However, I'll give the developers some credit here because they at least attempted to set up some kind of realistic plot. So in the Gun Griffin universe, food and energy are becoming scarce, so the world's remaining countries have consolidated into regional factions. The majority of these factions are still equipped with tanks and helicopters, but mechs are now starting to become commonplace on the battlefield. You'll get a briefing before each mission that really highlights a lot of the tactical details, but basically each mission you're just going to blow everything up that doesn't have a blue ring around it, which signifies your allies. But your missions typically involve guarding supply vehicles or destroying everything in your path. Sounds fun, right? Well, it is, but you'll quickly learn that this game wants you dead. The difficulty settings are really skewed here. Gun Griffin only has 10 missions, but I couldn't even make it past the first 6, and I was playing on easy mode. Another challenge is that you lack customization, so each mission you're preset with certain weapons, and that's it. So, yeah, you can easily run out of ammo for one weapon and be stuck using the machine gun, and let me tell you, killing some of those mechs with the machine gun is next to impossible. And if you didn't think that was enough, you only get 10 minutes to complete each mission. This is even more frustrating when you've cleared the map of enemy units, but sometimes you have to wait for them to respawn, which makes every second count. Also, just a minor complaint here, is it Gun Griffin or Gun Griffin the Eurasia Conflict? I know, I looked it up online and it's Gun Griffin the Eurasia Conflict, but how come the North American box art just says Gun Griffin? If you go to the title screen, it says Gun Griffin the Eurasia Conflict. I never understood why they tried to simplify things for us North Americans. We're not that dumb. I mean, that subtitle is literally 3 words. Okay, that's enough complaining there. Despite my gripes, Gun Griffin is actually really fun. At the end of each mission, you'll get a score tally, kinda like Armored Core, so taking damage or using too much ammo will actually count against you. This game wants you to be efficient in every sense of the word, which I can appreciate because it adds another layer of realism. You obviously can't run around the map and just destroy everything with unlimited ammo. That's just not going to work. I honestly wish the Gun Griffin franchise was more noticeable today. There's been 4 releases in total, Gun Griffin 2, and then 2 separate releases for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. But it's been over a decade since the last Gun Griffin game. I honestly think if the Sega Saturn hadn't sold so poorly in North America, that more people would know about Gun Griffin, and there'd probably be more and more sequels today. Well, you can still enjoy this game. It's a relatively cheap title on the Saturn, so if you still got a Saturn and you don't have Gun Griffin, do yourself a favor and pick up this game. Well, I think that's enough for me. Have a happy Halloween, stay safe out there, and catch you next time on Mecha Mondays.